Hi guys, Chris Ingram here with Prosperitas Financial, and today I wanted to update you on some stuff that might be coming here in the near future. And we don't really know when they're going to release this information, but there is a proposal going through the House and the Senate right now for what's called Secure Act 2.0. We got the first Secure Act in 2019, and this is going to be an update to the original Secure Act. And most likely it's going to go into effect before the end of the year, and it may change some of your plans between now and the end of the year. So you want to keep an eye on it and make sure that if it does come, that you know what you might have to do differently based on this new information. So high likelihood it will go through. There's a lot of support from it on both sides of the aisle. So most likely we're going to get some version of it, but this is kind of what it looks like right now. So a lot of it has to do with employer retirement plans, and some of it has to do with individual retirement accounts. So I'll kind of go through the highlights and let you know what to keep an eye on. So number one is they're talking about adding in an auto enrollment process into employer retirement plans, where if a participant becomes eligible for the plan, they would be auto enrolled into the plan with a 3% contribution going from their paycheck. That 3% contribution would be increased annually by 1% until it got all the way up to 10%. Now participants can opt out. They don't have to do it. They will be auto-enrolled, but they can opt out and pull themselves back out of it. And there are some plans that are exempt from this feature. Number one is plans that are existing. So if you already have a plan in place, or if you have 10 or fewer employees, if you've been in business less than 3 years, or governments and churches are exempt from this feature. But one thing to keep an eye on. Number two is that there is a 3-year mandatory check-in that will go into effect for non-participating employees. So if an employee is not participating in your 401k plan, or if they opted out to the auto enrollment, every 3 years there's a mandatory check-in to make sure they know that they're not participating and try and encourage them obviously to participate. The next feature is they are going to be raising the catch-up contribution limits. If you're over 50, there are catch-up contributions that you can make to your IRAs and 401ks. This new catch-up contribution increase will be in effect for people aged 62 through 64, and it'll take the 401k catch-up contribution to $10,000. It's currently at $6,500. It'll take simple IRA catch-up contributions to $5,000, which are currently at $3,000, and IRA catch-up contributions of $1,000 will be earmarked to inflation over time, so they will slowly start increasing over time. The next feature, which I think is pretty interesting, is that if an employee is currently paying off a student loan, and therefore, because of their student loan payments, are unable to contribute to the 401k plan at work, well, they're saying that employers would still be responsible to make a matching contribution to that employee's 401k because they are making student loan contributions or payments and not making contributions to the 401k plan. So they would still be able to get the match from their employer even though they weren't actively contributing to the 401k plan. The next one is a saver's tax credit. This is going to increase from 50% to 100%, and it's a credit to the employer for the cost of sponsoring a 401k plan. There's an annual cap of $5,000, and you can use it for 3 years. So if you're an employer, you have a 401k plan, you're paying for that plan year after year after year. This gives you the opportunity to be able to get some of a credit back for some of the cost of sponsoring that plan. So they're trying to encourage employers to have a plan at work and get a little bit of benefit back if they do. Next one here, and this is one that you want to be aware of before the end of the year, is that they're going to start increasing Rmd ages again. So originally it was 70 and a half. The original Secure Act moved Rmd ages up to 72. They're going to go up again. So if you turn 72 this year, you do need to take an Rmd. So that's very important to remember. However, if you turn 72 after the end of this year, so going into 2023, then the age for RMDs will move up to 73. If you turn 73 after 12/31 of 2029, then the age will go up to 74. And if you turn 74 after 12/31 of 2032, the RMD age will increase to 75. The other thing is they're going to ease some RMD requirements that are inside of annuities. They're trying to encourage people to invest in annuities, and so they're taking away some of the RMD requirements there. The next one, going back to benefits for employers that have sponsored plans, they're talking about an employer contribution tax credit. So the tax credit currently goes up to 50 employees. They're going to increase that to 100 employees. And in the first 2 years, you can get 100% credit on employer matching contributions up to a maximum of $1,000 per employee. Over time, they're going to reduce that by 25% annually until the tax credit goes away. And if you have more than 50 employees, for every employee you have over 50, that amount gets reduced by 2%. But again, they're trying to encourage matching contributions and getting some kind of a benefit back, in order to encourage employers to match and encourage participants to put money into their retirement savings account. Last one on this slide is 403B. They're planning to lower costs and some of the regulations surrounding those. This one's interesting. It's an emergency savings account through your work. So what they're going to encourage is that you can do a maximum 3% contribution that's pulled directly from your pay, and up to a maximum of $2,500 a year. And it would go into after-tax, non-retirement savings accounts that would be there in case of an emergency for those employees. They're also looking at potentially allowing a $1,000 per month distribution from retirement plans to also allow for emergency savings that would be available to employees that are participating in the retirement plans. I thought this one was really interesting. Sep Iras are typically for employers and their employees. They're opening that up to domestic workers. So if you have somebody working at your house, you could include them in your Sep IRA and make contributions for them. And part-time employees right now, part-time employees that work between 500 and 999 hours a year, they have to wait 3 years before they become eligible for an employer retirement plan at work. They're going to drop that down to 2 years. And the last one that I think is super important, because I get clients that come to me all the time and say, I think I have 401ks with previous employers, but I'm not really 100% sure. They're going to create an online database for lost 401ks so that people can look up their old, outdated, previous employer 401ks and be able to find those and pull those in and be able to either move those to their existing 401k or roll those over into an IRA. So that's kind of the highlights. Again, this is not final, and a lot of this still needs to be worked out, and some of this information may change, but these are some of the things that they're talking about, and they're batting back and forth, and we'll see how it plays out, but it probably will be some version of this that comes to fruition between now and the end of the year. So you just want to keep an eye out for it and just know that it's out there and it's coming. So that's it. Have a great day. For more information, check us out at www.prosperitasfin.com.